The topic for today is the patterns of the biodiversity. So when we say patterns, the reason is that biodiversity is not uniform throughout the globe. Biodiversity is more in some area and is very less, or the diversity is very poor in some area. So let's understand the various types of patterns which are present in the biodiversity. The first pattern is the latitude gradient. In geography, we all have learned about the latitude, altitude and longitude. The latitudes are the horizontal or so called the horizontal lines which pass through the globe. So the latitudes, we have learned in the geography that as we move away from the equator, first of all the climatic situation near about the equator is tropical, followed by subtropical, followed by the temperate, and then we have the Arctic or the polar region. So let's go through the NCERT. The diversity of plants and animals is not uniform throughout the world, but show a rather uneven distribution. For many groups of animals or plants, there are interesting patterns in biodiversity, the most well known being the latitude gradient in diversity. In general, the species diversity decreases as we move away from the equator towards the pole. So as we start moving from the equator, from the 0 degree towards the pole, generally we find the species diversity decreases. Now this can come as an exam question in the exam. So now after this, there are some examples which you have to by heart to substantiate your point in the examination. So with very few exceptions, so remember there are few exceptions where you will find this rule is not applicable, otherwise maximum time this rule is applicable. The latitude range of 23.5 north to 23.5 south, which is called as the tropical area, harbors more species than the temperate zone or the polar area. So now the examples start. The Colombia, located near equator, Colombia is in the South America and it is very much at the equator, has 14,000 species of birds. And when you pay attention to the North America, like example the New York, which is at 41 degree north, has 105 species of birds. And when you compare this with the Greenland, Greenland is situated at 71 degree north, it has just 56 species of birds. So this is a beautiful example to substantiate this point that as we go away from equator, the species diversity decreases, because Colombia almost at the equator has 1400 species of birds, and then as you go away towards the North Pole, 41 degree north is the position of the New York, which has 105 species of birds, and Greenland closer to the equator, to the pole, 71 degree north has just 56 species of birds. Now let's have the example of India also. India, with much of its land in the tropical latitude, has more than 1200 species of birds. A forest in a tropical region like Ecuador again in the American continent, so a forest in the tropical region of the Ecuador has up to 10 times as many species of vascular plants as a forest of equal area in the temperate region like the Midwest of the USA. So from this you can make out US being in the temperate zone and the Ecuador is in the tropical zone. So from this you can make out that whether you talk about birds, or that means animals or plants, the diversity is always more in the tropical region. Largely the tropical Amazonian rainforest in the South America. We all know Amazon is the largest tropical forest. It is the maximum part of it lies in Brazil. So the largely tropical Amazonian rainforest in South America has the greatest biodiversity on earth, and it is home to more than 40,000 species of plants, 3,000 species of fishes, 1,300 species of birds, 427 species of mammals, 427 species of amphibians, and 378 reptiles, and more than 125,000 invertebrates. Scientists estimate that in these rainforests there might be at least 2 million insect species still waiting to be discovered and named. Now you must be wondering why exactly, or what could be the reason behind that tropics are so rich in these species. So now the paragraph starts. What is so special about the tropics that might account for their greater biodiversity, biological diversity? So ecologists and evolutionary biologists have proposed various hypotheses. Some important hypotheses are, now from here starts the three reasons or three beliefs that which scientists generally believe are responsible for more diversity in the tropical area. So this is again one of the question which is generally asked in the board exams. It comes for 3 marks because there are 3 points to be written. So the first point is the speciation is generally a function of time. We all know to variations come by sexual reproduction. Variations are accumulated, and then finally there could be a certain mutation also, but again it takes a lot of time in reproduction. Mutations are not always frequently occurring, so this means but maximum mutations are harmful also. So rarely a mutation may arise which is beneficial for the organism to survive. That means to develop new species or to have evolution taking place, it's a time consuming process.